everyone, welcome to CEC Gurukul lectures. Now we continue with the section of Indian art and aesthetics. So toward the end we learnt about the nature and scope, and we continue with the nature and scope of art. So I begin with apart from art such as dance, painting and sculpture, the activities such as cooking, garlanding, art of making ornaments, preparing perfumes, making different kinds of drinks, sewing, solving the riddles, carpentry, reading poems and all such activities were brought under the category of art. Later, the five arts among them were called Lalit Kala, which are fine arts pertaining to music, dance, theatre, painting and architecture, which includes sculpture also. Rest of the other forms of art was known as Kushal Kala or Hasta Kala, regarded as craft that later got the recognition as decorative arts. When a box is created exclusively by an artist and placed in a museum or collected by an art collector, it is considered as an art object. The skill of creating the box is treated as craftsmanship. In the early stages of human development, art was expressed in a natural way to worship gods or to decorate the places they used to live or to celebrate an event. As the society progressed, art was brought under the training and study. In course of time, the art practices and the products of art handed down to generations, some of those for centuries and some are even millennia old. Through such fine expressions and by creating objects in certain ways, they became established practices. Such practices were recognized as art traditions. These traditions are modified or changed owing to change in the taste of people and trends followed in a particular period. Such changing features bring particular style to art. Now, art history studies the reasons for such change and stylistic feature of the art practiced in a particular time of history. Aesthetic is a subject which studies the principles that govern the expression in art and theories of art. And art criticism is the analysis of art which bridges the gap between the art and the viewer and the society. So, in the field of art, people can choose professions like artist, performer, designer, art collector, art historian, art critic or an art interpreter. In this way, art world is expanding. Pablo Picasso once said, "The purpose of art is washing the dust of daily life off our souls." We lesser mortals probably won't be able to fathom this wide effect of art in the first hand, but we do get it already that the art is centered around life and celebrate life experiences. There are two manifestations of art education. One is similar to that of the artistic creation, painting, sculpture, music and dance, etc. And the second is that which finds expression all our consciousness and unconscious movements and behavior. Both are essential for making life balanced and creative. So as you can see on your screen right now, there's a conscious mind and a subconscious mind, and how both of these are distinguished and what comes under in these two minds. Moving on to the scope of art education is wide and multi-faculty. Some of them are curriculum supports creativity and expressions are enhanced as students are inspired to think out of the box. Art education enables the learner to become aesthetically competent and professionally skilled. To think in broad aspects, art is the oldest courses in the history of human mankind. Even the timeline approves the wide range of scope, provide strength with various choices in vocational field. Art education opens up opportunity to pursue further higher studies or train to be professional, any path that drive work for student. A person in need of creative expression gets a guidance through art education. Otherwise, most of the time one has to compromise their interest and drop out. As understood from scope, art education has a wide range of differences, but these differences are mostly because of the medium used to express artistic ways. Forms include drawing, painting, ceramics, photography, architecture, sculpture, conceptual art, etc. Among different styles of art, which include Impressionism, Expressionism, Surrealism, popular art, etc. Now we move to artistic expression, its meaning and strategies to facilitate. The main purpose of art education is to develop creativity, individuality and expression through art activities. But in our culture, however diverse it may be, all celebrate art as a part of everyday life, from celebration of birth to daily prayers and social rituals, or even protests have their artistic forms. A child learns all these rituals and habits which create art in daily life. Henry Ward Beecher famously said, "Every artist dips brush in his own soul and paints his own nature into pictures." This implies to all art forms. Therefore, to explain artistic expression, we can quote another author: "All forms of art are parallel expressions. Writing is not unlike painting or other artistic endeavors. Each artistic endeavor is an expression of the mystery of the world." The job of artists is to deepen that mystery, express reverence for the mystery of life, and explore enigmatic aspects of human nature. In art world, the artistic expression also denotes a certain age where from imitation theory art moved on to expressionist theory. Art was always about expression. Therefore, it seemed like a contradictory theory, but expressionists use the term express to question what is artistic expression. What does an artist do when he or she expresses? What is it for work of art to be an expressive? To be an expressionist, one has to depart from conventional realistic and naturalistic ways and seek to convey inner experience. The field of creative arts and careers is gaining momentum in the recent world. The globe has woken up to the importance and potential of arts in their economic, social, educational, and cultural aspects. It leads to the personal development of every individual. Like the students pick up important life skills from their education in the arts, such as better memory, enhanced understanding, and an ability to communicate symbolically. It can enhance a student drive to succeed and ability to take on new challenges. It also helps in gaining holistic knowledge. The learning of these particular forms, their history, creation, performance, analysis, critique, and appreciation is a voyage of learning in itself. Then it makes life aesthetical. In our daily life, it has an importance which is immeasurable, from food to cloth to houses to festivities. All have various aesthetic expression and impact. It also helps in cognitive stimulation. Art education has been linked to advanced cognitive development in children. At a certain level, artistic creativity can be divided into two categories. One, which is based on artist's intuitive understanding of the form in all its aspects, and the other, which is more inclined towards an intellectual approach. Intuition cannot be imported or taught, but creativity, which involves intellectual skills, can be developed up to a certain level in most individuals. Hence, it should not be difficult to utilize the intellect and principle similar to those outlined above in the processes of learning art to an adequate level for the individual to find expression for his or her feelings, and by doing so grow into a better and fulfilled person. It therefore depends on the upbringing of the individual and education as a whole. Now we move to the strategies which we need to be followed for artistic expression are as below and many more. To start thinking creatively, not just follow but to think. To use art as subject matter for communication. To communicate well, the sender has to learn the language of art. To understand that art is an universally used language and grows through culture and history. To work with the art of others, to relate in life, connecting visuals and performing art to other areas of learning. Direct experience to create some kind of art. Now we move to the academic achievement in which art helps. So the student involved in art classes perform better in school. According to Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences, students who take art classes develop an increased capacity to learn because they expand their learning styles beyond linguistic and mathematical reasoning in their traditional classes. It has been found that student who takes art classes perform better in academics and have a higher thinking potential. So creative arts include many forms of artistic expression that helps us to convey a certain message to target audience. Example, the street play, miming an act, a demonstration or a poster display all can wonderfully depict the deteriorating scene of India's politics or pollution or population explosion and problems associated within a far more interesting and impressive manner than the essay or factual details they may be writing. So, the personal profile and growth varied options of professions. These are taught in schools starting from kindergarten, primary, and secondary schools, and are also choices in the higher level of education, such as universities. With enhanced aptitude in art, you can successfully pursue so many professions like teachers in colleges and universities, dancers, performing artist, art critic, art historian, choreographer, commercial artist, actor or actress in theatre or television serials or films, art educator, professional singers, architect, stage director, music, dance and drama, therapist, art administrator, audio or sound engineer, light designer, interior designer, and so on. So, these are the various professions which you can choose by pursuing your art study. So, true art education not only makes the physical surroundings beautiful, it is more important objective is to reach the deeper layer of the human heart. The artist studies nature to understand its spirit and its rhythm and to feel a oneness with it. So much so that gradually everything develops into a relationship of friendship. The objective of art education, therefore, should not be an activity only to train the hand to be able to make attractive objects and to decorate the household or the workplace. It should aim at the holistic growth of the individual. In other words, education in general and art education in particular is a way for one to grow and become sensitive to the beauty in nature, of social values and the aesthetic aspects of life as a whole. In art education, training of the hand and eye is only a tool. That object is to build a creative, fulfilled and well balanced personality. However, the most important aim of art education is to inculcate in every citizen and awareness and sensitivity to all aspects of our environment and grace in every life. In other words, as it is to develop the inclination and capacity to understand what is good and desirable and what is wrong and undesirable, not only for the individual but for society as a whole. So, the aim of art is to represent not the outward appearance of things but the inward significance. So, that's what art leads us to. It makes us delve insight within us and it brings out the best in us. So, these are the references which have been used, and so I also want to share with the whole thing like the coordination of eyes, hands, full body movement, legs, your whole limbs. Art really helps us to bring out the best of best in us. It connects us to the nature, to the whole environment, and ultimately it helps us to bring out the full-on potential of ourselves and to find ourselves, our own self, own values, and like if I मैं आपसे जैसे कुछ कहूँ कि कुछ भी हम कुछ क्रिएटिव एक्सप्रेशन के थ्रू अगर हमें कुछ दिखाना है, सपोज़ एक सिंपल सा मैं आपको एक आर्ट का एक जो हमारी, क्योंकि मैं भरतनाट्यम डांसर हूँ तो मैं आपसे एक छोटा सा अलारिपू को लेके थोड़ा सा शेयर करना चाहूँगी। तो अलारिपू इज़ द वेरी फर्स्ट पीस जो हम विच वी फर्स्ट टीच टू अ स्टूडेंट। सो उसमें फुल बॉडी के मूवमेंट रहते हैं विच इंक्लूड आइज़, हैंड, द मूवमेंट ऑफ फुल बॉडी, लेग्स, एंड इट बिगिन्स विद द आई मूवमेंट, जिसको हम बोला जाता है कि ओपनिंग ऑफ और ब्लॉसमिंग ऑफ अ फ्लावर और ओपनिंग ऑफ अ फ्लावर, पेटल बाय पेटल, जैसे लोटस धीरे धीरे खिलता है, इस तरीके से हमारे आर्ट की लर्निंग प्रोसेस हमें इसमें हेल्प करती है अपने आप को ग्रूम करने में। सो इट बिगिन्स विथ holding a posture straight like this, and you do the eye movement. Begin with this. Then where the hand goes, there goes the eyes. Yatho hasta tatho drishti. जहाँ मेरी दृष्टि है उधर मेरा मन है। यथो दृष्टि तथो मनः, यतो मनः तथो भाव, तभी मेरा भाव उधर आ रहा है, जहाँ मैं देख रही हूँ मेरा भाव उस तरफ है। यथो भाव तथो रसा, then only I'll be able to connect my audience because I'm fully involved into my learning piece which I'm pursuing in front of, which I'm pursuing or performing in front of you. So by holding, I'm following the hand, I'm bending my body and then again opening, then doing the hand movements, then looking left, right, again doing the hand movement, again doing the other movements, following the hand. So there is a connection between the mind and the hand and the eyes, which is making you internalize yourself. That is helping you to proceed and think at the back of your mind. You are thinking what you have to show next. There are even the movements of faces also involved, like you are taking your head up, you are looking up high, and then you are looking straight. So these are the things which art makes you to pursue onwards. So yes, this brings me further to show you a expression piece such as a Krishna. Before showing Krishna, like in the previous, we discussed about the dancing Shiva. So if I talk about Shiva, so Shiva has the whole fire around him and he stands tall like this, blessing with the one hand and other hand is like this. So that's how we show Shiva. And if I talk about Krishna, Krishna holds a flute. So see how I'm making the use of my hand while holding mudras. So this is Krishna. This is how we show Krishna in the performing art. Similarly, other way to show Krishna is like this. Or this. So I'm holding a flute and a peacock feather. So these hasta mudras are symbolizing some meaning. And similarly, the other way to show is this, holding a mountain with a little finger. That's how mythology has, given us the glimpse of Krishna. कि कृष्णा कैसे हैं, उन्होंने पर्वत उठाया छोटी उंगली पे. So these are the uses of hastas जो हमें हमारे डांस फॉर्म के ज़रिए हमें सीखने के लिए मिलते हैं. Similarly, if I talk about Devi, suppose Lakshmi, we show goddess Lakshmi like this. Again using the hastas and the emotions. Or the Saraswati, we show it like this, holding the veena like this. We also show Lakshmi like this, using the eye movements. We show Devi like this as well, or like this. So these are the various ways by which I am using my hasta mudras and showing it to you. So all these learnings come under your art education. If I talk about the performance art, so these are all the learnings which you will learn in the performance art. So that's how you are being connected to your audience, first thing, and more to yourself as a person. So this brings to the end of this lecture. Thank you so much.